Good morning and good day. Namaskar. So today in this stream I will talk about, I will answer the questions which I have collected from different comments of yours, and I will deal one question I liked the most, and that is about is the happiness always associated with some kind of pain? So I would like to address that question. Like, we have this dichotomy that to achieve some happiness you have to go through pain. It is true in many situations. So okay, the development according to Tantric philosophy, it happens through different clashes. Clash means collision of certain factors, and during this collision there is development happening. And there are three types of clash. One is physical clash. It is the collision of different energies within the body. So the more developed the body is, the more will be different collisions. Like a simple cell, unicellular organism. It is an incredibly complex structure, but still it is, relatively to us, it is quite simple. But then the body becomes more and more complex, more and more developed. So in these complex bodies, there is a collision of energies, the pranaha, the vital force, collide the different yoga beliefs in different vital air, so vital energies like prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana, naga, kurma, krikara, devadatta. So those pranas, the vital energies, exist within the body, and they maintain life, and there is a constant collision of energies, constant clash of energies within the physical bodies. And this is just like, you can imagine 20 people tied with a rope. There is a rope around them, so they are tightly bound together. And if these people, they start to fight amongst each other, then slowly the bondage of the rope will start to decrease. The rope will become more and more loose, and then finally the rope will snap. So similarly, something similar happens according to the Tantric theory, is within the matter there is the collision of different energies, different forces colliding with each other. And as a result of those collisions, part of the crude material substance is transformed into crude substance of the mind, which is called Chitta in philosophy. So what is that Chitta? Chitta is the objective portion of the mind. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you perceive is called Chitta. Like, for example, I look at my hand, or you look at my hand. What do you see? You see the reflection of my hand within your mind, right? You don't see directly the hand, because you see the waves of light reflecting from my hand, and then it comes to your eyes, and then within the eyes it travels through the optical nerves, finally arrives to the brain, and there within the brain there is a reconstruction. Within the brain there is a formation of the new image, and that image within your brain you are actually seeing. You are not seeing an actual hand. So the crudest form of the mind is this substance which you see. Actually, this is the substance of the mind which you are looking at. We call it in yoga Chitta, or in Tantric philosophy we call it Chitta. So this is the first conflict the first, without this collision of the energies, without these internal struggles of energies within our very bodies, the production of the mind is impossible, according to this theory. Then, to transform the crude matter of the mind into subtle matter of the mind, subtle substance of the mind stuff, there has to be another type of conflict. Another type of conflict is called intellectual clash, or the subtle clash. So it is the clash of ideas, clash of the choices. For example, you have different choices. Some choices are very primitive, like for example, let's say you are taking food and then there is a guest coming. So your subtle ideal, your subtle ideology propels you to share your food, and your primitive functions of the mind is pushing you to gobble this whole food by yourself without sharing it with others. So that is, and then there is there is a conflict between these two ideas, and there is two forces in the mind. And then during this conflict, part of the crude mind is get pulverized, is get elevated to the subtle mind. So slowly you pump from the matter, you create the crude mind. From the crude mind, you create the subtle mind. So, and in this process, of course, there is discomfort and there is a measure of pain and suffering. But the result is finally that you develop. And in the development, once you have developed, then you can enjoy a greater happiness. So you can say that, yes, the path towards the greater happiness, to the greater appreciation of life, goes through an intense struggle within yourself. So actually a wise person will try to increase the number of these collisions within himself, the number of these clashes within himself. Like how you can increase an intellectual clash? By reading elevating books. Like sometimes I'm reading the books by my teacher, my spiritual teacher, and I find, wow, these ideals that he sets before the disciples are so high, and I think I am not up to the mark. So, but the very presence of those ideals in the mind, it opens some doors with you. You become inspired. You become like, vibrated from within. That, yeah, I would like to follow those kind of ideals. But those ideals very high. So interesting, yesterday I was reading, and it was in the chapter of Shaocha, or cleanliness. The words were like this. When one must save something, like how much person should give and should donate, for the welfare of humanity. So he asked that question. He said that the maintenance of the family is the duty of the human being. So he has to save something for himself, for maintenance of his life and maintenance of his family. And this will not be it will not be considered to be a narrowness, because it is the duty, dharmic duty or spiritual duty of a person to take care for his family. But after providing all the necessities of his family, the person should try to dedicate all of his other resources to the service of humanity, to the service of the entire world. So this idea already sounds quite unusual. It sounds quite revolutionary. And then he goes on saying something more. And he said, but when you are fighting for an ideal, and that ideal is both internal, you are trying to achieve a certain stance of consciousness, of your mind. You want to elevate yourself to a noble entity. You want to live with noble emotions, to be driven by love, to be driven by the inclination towards the service, to be driven with vision, faith, hope, effort, service in the intellectual area, service in the physical area, service in the spiritual area. So you want to be driven by those high things. That's internal ideal. And there is an external ideal. External ideal is a society which provides for all the needs of all human beings. Society in which there are no outcasts, in which there are no suffering people. The society which fulfills the potentiality of every person, of every member. So to build this kind of well-knit social system is the external ideal. So here my teacher says it. He says, when fighting for an ideal, to accept a defeat, it means to enter into dark gloom. When there is no any possibility to dispel the gloom, one should be ready to sacrifice everything for an ideal. So when I read this, I'm thinking, wow, this is such a high philosophy. And of course, I'm trying to measure with myself, do I have that kind of readiness? So it sparks the conflict within my mind. There is a part of me which is an animal, like human being is a triple entity. It's human being is an animal, is human, and divine also. So there is, you can say also you are like warm-blooded animal. You can say also you are cold-blooded animal. There is, all these portions are within our brain, like our brain stem. It's just like a reptile brain. We are both, we are reptiles, we are the hot-blooded animals, like horses, like dogs, lions, things like that. But at the same time, we are human. And in the maximities of the humanness, we are also divine. So we are a continuum of all those things. So constantly, the humanity is the state of strife between animality and divinity. It is just like that silver lining between the stage of animality. Animality is basically you care of yourself, that's it. You live for yourself, for your pleasures. You avoid the fears, you seek for pleasures. That's the stage of animality. And then there is a stage of divinity. You live for the universal welfare. In the stage of divinity, your consciousness has been expanded, and you experience, you identify yourself, you identify your welfare with the welfare of the entire universe. So there is these two ideas. There are two extreme ideas. I am an atom, I am in a capsule, and I exist as a seed, and I only take care of myself. and then there is this maximities of humanity. I take care of the entire universe. Entire universe have become my family. The entire universe have become my body. The entire cosmic mind has become my mind. So, and then there is a fight between these two ideations, between these two feelings within yourself. It is happening within yourself. So how you and this fight sometimes is painful also, because something gets hurt in you by that fight. But that fight is actually what drives you forward, propels you forward. That is very, very necessary. So it is in our best interest to intensify, to increase that fight within ourselves. To intensify and increase that fight within ourselves. So how you do it? You do it through collision of the high ideas against your mind. For example, reading spiritual books which really talks about high ideas, reading philosophy, reading scriptures, and then trying to digest all those things, trying to think about, trying to contemplate about those things. Then there is one of the highest collisions is the meditation, because in meditation you collide your mind with the idea that you are the Supreme Consciousness, that you are infinite. You are the Supreme Consciousness. So your common idea is, I am the body and I am the mind. Who are you? One time, my spiritual teacher, he was asking one of the disciples, he asked, who are you? He said said his name, Ram Babu, something like that. Then he said, no, that is your name. But who are you? He said, okay, I'm a doctor. He said, no, that's your profession. But who are you? He said, I'm a Bengali. He said, that's your language. But who are you? So he played this game for some time. Then finally, he surrendered. He doesn't know. Then he says, Paramapurusha, Supreme Consciousness. And then Guru smiles. And then he turns around. He says, he thinks that he is Supreme Consciousness. But he does not know. He thinks, but he does not know. Then he touches his higher chakras, and then this person goes into samadhi. He goes into the trance of absorption, the stance of unity with cosmic consciousness. He said, and now he knows. He was thinking, but now he knows. So, what is sadhana? Sadhana is what is meditation? Is the process where you overcome your identity as a limited consciousness, and you transform your identity where you believe, I am infinite consciousness. That is the sadhana. And then sadhana provides the unlimited collision of the mind with this high idea. So in the process of this collision, the mind develops. This is what is happening. The mind develops in the process of collision with the ideas. Also, if you collide your mind with the crude ideas, if you surround yourself with very, materialistic people, selfish people, and you will constantly see their behavior, that behavior will reflect in your mind, and slowly it will normalize. First you will feel like, what? How a person can do like that? But then you will see it second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, seventh time, 10 times. Then slowly, this behavior is going to be normalized. And then you yourself will become like that. So that's why it is so important, the company which I am in. It says in Tantra, it says, Satsangena bhavin muktir, asatsangeshu bandhanam, asatsanga, satsangena bhavin muktir, asatsangeshu bandhanam. Asatsanga mudranam, samudra parikirtitam. Oh, I'm forgetting the shloka. Anyway, I will remember later. So, satsangeshu bhavin muktira, satsangeshu bandhanam. The satsanga, the spiritual company, sat sangha. Sat means eternal. Sangha, to be in connection. So you connect with eternal, you connect with the expression, with the reflections of divine in the people, in other practitioners. It leads to liberation. If you associate yourself with the person who is a spiritual, who is elevated, who is divine, that association will lead you towards your liberation. You yourself, without noticing, you will start overcoming different defects of your character, of different defects of your personality, and imbibing more and more merits from such person. So great people, how we associate? Either we know them or we just admire. We admire the great people. We think about them, we admire their qualities. So in that way, you collide your mind with the ideas, which are subtler than the current state of your mind. And asatsanga bandhanam, when you associate yourself either physically or mentally with the people of the crude nature, slowly the mind will descend and return back to the it will regress into the previous state. So yeah, satsanga, then meditation. Meditation always gives this highest of possible ideas. I am the Supreme Consciousness. I am the Supreme Consciousness is everything. I am the Supreme Consciousness. Keep repeating it to yourself. Keep repeating. First, your mind will not believe it. It's like, it sounds impossible. How a drop can be an ocean. So drop cannot be the ocean. Drop and oceans, they may be similar by substance, but they're different by the quantity. But keep repeating that. Keep trying to realize it. Keep trying to... It is the process of discovery. You try to discover. First you discover your I. Then within the I, discover the consciousness, which is infinite. And keep going, keep telling yourself that, yes, I am the Supreme Consciousness. So this is the truth. You know, the like mantra is the seed in which the truth is transmitted. That seed will grow into the tree, and then will become the tree of truth. So keep going, trying to sprout that seed of the truth. And make it your truth. So this is a process of mental collision within. Good company, good reading, good movies, good something which is inspired. Good means inspiring. Inspiring means motivating you to be more noble, motivating you to become more subtle, express your divinity. And then there is a final factor in evolution. That final factor is called the attraction of the divine. Like when the rocket takes off from the ground, the very first seconds is the hardest, because there is no velocity, and then you need to burn a huge amount of fuel to move that heavy rocket into the sky. But the more the rocket accelerates, the more it acquires velocity, the easier it becomes. And it fights, it struggles against the gravitation of the Earth. Then finally it breaks from the gravitational pull of the Earth, and then the movement becomes easier and easier and easier. The acceleration becomes easier and easier and easier. So let's say the rocket is moving towards the sun. At some point in the, I think it is called the point of Lagrange, you come into the gravitational middle between the sun and the Earth, where there is gravitational force, where the gravitational force of the sun is same as the gravitational force of the Earth. So there is the same, like, particular point. After that point, the attraction of the sun will become greater than the attraction of the Earth. So then, from that moment, the rocket is already falling on the sun. So it's not anymore struggling to go towards the sun. It is falling on the sun, and the attraction of the sun accelerates that movement of the rocket. So similarly, when you start your practice of meditation, you at first you have to do a great effort, great effort, just to overcome the attraction of the mundanities. And then the more you detach from these attractions, the more you move towards this great consciousness, the more you become attracted to it. You start to appreciate, you start to experience the bliss. Before that bliss was unknown. You only knew the pleasure and pain, and you have not known the divine bliss. What is this bliss? But then slowly, as you move towards, as your mind becomes more and more subtle, you start to experience, once you detach yourself from the body, once you detach yourself from the thoughts, you start to feel. You start to feel the divine entity. And then that attraction, that enjoyment, pulls you towards it. So these three forces of evolutions are there. So first one is physical clash, the collision of energy within the physical structure. The physical structure is constantly under challenge. It's not like there is a constant, homeostasis. There is this, the body tries to maintain the equilibrium, but there is a constant challenge happening inside of the physical structure. And that challenge itself, that process itself, works to produce the crude substance of the mind, which is very necessary. The longer you live, the more substance is produced and maintained in the body. So you become, as you grow, you become more and more powerful if you do not degenerate. Then there is a mental clash, the clash of ideas. The crude mind collides with the great ideas and ideals and ideology. And then the mind develops into subtle mind. And that subtle mind, when it becomes sufficiently subtle, it starts to experience the pull. That subtle mind can enjoy the divinity, the bliss. So this subtle mind experiences the pull of the divine entity towards itself. So the mind even becomes even more subtle, further subtle. So that movement accelerates. So as the result of this movement, you start your movement through the practice of Jnana Yoga, yoga of knowledge. You learn all the subtle ideas and ideals. You learn the characteristics of the developed consciousness. Then you proceed with Karma Yoga, Karma yoga is the yoga of action. You do service, you service and sacrifice. Through that service and sacrifice, you also develop more abilities of yours. And then finally, you develop bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is yoga of love, which is natural for the subtle mind. When the mind becomes subtle, it becomes attracted to the divine. So yes, to some extent it is true that to achieve happiness, to achieve bliss, we have to go through some sort of struggle, we have to go through some sort of pain. It is inevitable. So that first you taste bitter, then you taste sweet. So this was the question. Okay, I will answer the questions in the chat, but I will also have some more. What is the sense, what is the purpose of the divine game? Why human beings should suffer with ignorance and different addictions before finding a path? Yeah, I explained. People is a process of evolution. Because how you activate the stone, how you activate the crude substance. So there has to be some pressure, circumstantial pressure. For life to develop, there has to be some driving force. So there is this instinct of survival. Every life wants to survive. There is a fear of death. So through that survival mechanism, we are motivated. So that survival mechanism develops in more and more subtle expressions of the mind, and then culminates in the spiritual search of a human being. So that's the divine game. What is the why? Yeah, the game is interesting. Like when you play the game, why do you play the game? Let's say you play the game of civilization. So you build from scratch the civilization, you make the discoveries, you build the warriors, you conquer, you protect, you build the culture. Why you do like that? Because it is interesting. This is how our consciousness is. So the divine consciousness is also playing the game. And then he is not playing the game with us, he is playing the game with himself, because there is nothing in this universe apart from consciousness. Everything is consciousness. In consciousness there is knowledge, there is consciousness itself, and there is power, energy, Shakti. So consciousness, Shiva, and Shakti, power. So they interact with each other. So Shiva, consciousness, allows Shakti, energy, to bind him, to qualify him, to give him certain qualities, to give him certain attributions. And then he allows to qualify him further and further and further and further, until Shiva, the subtle consciousness, become as crude as stone. And then from that point, reaching the rock bottom within the evolutionary cycle, from that point the consciousness strives to liberate itself. The consciousness moves, the life sparkles in the physical realm, and that life slowly rebuilds itself to realize its source. So this is the cosmic game. And why the Supreme Entity does it? I think it is interesting. Then again, question: is life a kind of a dream? How to become aware of oneself? How to realize oneself? Life is a sort of dream, yes. The consciousness is dreaming, and then consciousness is dreaming and believing himself to be Dada Sadananda. Now I'm talking to you, and I'm believing that I am Dada Sadananda. But actually, it is the consciousness which is sleeping and seeing itself as a person with the name Dada Sadananda. One time I was seeing a dream. In that dream, I was walking in the streets and I had some drama going on in my life. I had some personality and something was going on with me. I was worried about something like that was going. Then suddenly I wake up in my dream and I understand that actually I'm sleeping and actually I'm seeing the dream. So I thought that, okay, if this is my dream, then I am the master. I am the Lord of this dream world. So whatever I wish will come true. So I thought, okay, let there will be bridge over the railway. There was some railway in my dream. And I thought, let there will be bridge over the railway. The moment I thought like that, and I created this, there was an effort with my will. I built this bridge, and suddenly the bridge appears, and I was like, wow, that's fantastic. I like it. So I'm capable of, building these things in my dream. And then I realized basically, I'm dreaming, this is my world. I am the creator of this world. So what is the difference? I was the person of my dream. I was the object of my dream, believing in the story I have created. Then I woke up and I know that I am actually creator of this entire dream. Entire world is originating in me. So then I woke up. So similarly, we live in a state of dream. We believe ourselves to be a certain personalities. And with a spiritual practice. And then when you wake up, then what happens to that personality? That personality vanishes. It gives space to the new identity. You wake up and you're a new person. Okay? So, similarly, when you wake up spiritually, you wake up and the old personality vanishes. And the new personality takes place. And the new personality is cosmic, is infinite. So it is a sort of dream, yes. Why do we need to be born and die? How to enjoy the quest of being? We are born and we are dying in the process of evolution. The consciousness to develop to its highest potential, to its highest form, highest original form, one life is not enough. It is a long process. So the body will die, will renew itself, because the body is not a singular entity. In the body there are trillions of living beings, like every cell is a living being. And every cell is on its particular evolutionary trajectory. For a time being, all the cells, they come together and constitute your body. But the time comes for all the cells to move on the different trajectories. They all will move different in trillions of different directions. So you cannot infinitely hold those organs and cells together. So sometimes you have to let them go, and that when you let them go, that is the process of death. So, and then yourself, you go on your different trajectory, and then you are born in a new body which is more developed than this one. When you assume a new body, you acquire a more developed body if you have done sadhana. Your brain, your glands, your nerves, everything is more developed. It will allow you Like, for example, if this life you have done sadhana, next life, when you are born in the form of genius. Immediately you already know so many things. You already remember some things from your past life. So you move like that and you continue your sadhana. And then if you have not done sadhana, then you degenerate. Maybe not, but many times we degenerate. It's like you see that when people are young, they are more beautiful, they are more powerful, but when they become old, they become less intelligent, they become less powerful. So that should not happen, actually. You should move and move, ascend and ascend and ascend and ascend until you die. So if you have degenerated, then you acquire more primitive body with a less developed brain and with less developed glandular and nervous system. If you progress in your life, you acquire more intelligent body, more spiritual body with a more developed brain and more developed glands. So in this way you evolve. That's why we need to be born and die. And how to realize ourselves is to do sadhana. To do sadhana. That's the thing. Do sadhana. Sadhana means an effort to complete yourself. The path of yoga, is it suitable for everyone? What to do if I'm not achieving success? Yes, this path is suitable for everyone. It is the most natural path. Yoga practice, yama niyama, moral principles. If you study it, it is so beautiful, so logical, so clear, so understandable, so good for society, so good for you. In that way, you develop very healthy mind. You develop very healthy psychology. Those principles are universal. They are very good for everyone. Then asana, the physical exercises and the posture, the training of your body is good for everyone. Then pranayama, the control over the breath, is good for everyone. Then pratyahara, the ability to withdraw your mind from the external world, your body and your thoughts, is good for everybody. It liberates the mind. It awakens a creative intuition in you. It forces the brain, which has been separated from its perceptions and experiences, it forces the brain to be creative. It's wonderful. How to be creative, how to be original, how to be authentic. You have to learn how to remain without any perceptions. In that darkness, in that perceptionless state, your mind will become very creative. It's good for everybody. Then dharana, concentration. It awakens in you the special knowledge. It awakens in you intuition. It awakens in you the ability to know without learning. Spiritual knowledge. You look inside, and inside you find the universes. You find there new ideas. You see this big pictures are weaving inside your mind, and you are seeing more and more and more and more. The ability to see the systems, the ability to see the complexities. This is what concentration gives you. It is good for everybody. And then dhyana, contemplation. The process when you deeply concentrate on a subtle realm of consciousness, and you grasp it's good for everybody. And samadhi, when your mind merges with the cosmic, that's good for everybody. So if you are not achieving success, you are not correct. You are achieving success. It's just like a process of building the evolution. It takes time. In a subtle way, like a caterpillar, it doesn't understand that it is turning into butterfly. First, in the caterpillar, one single cell appears, which is not caterpillar-like, which is butterfly-like. And then all the other cells in the body of the caterpillar, they attack that cell. They try to remove it. They think it is one kind of sickness which is going on. But that cell persists, it survives, it multiplies, and slowly there are more cells of the butterfly in the caterpillar than the cells of the caterpillar. And then, to complete the process of transformation, the caterpillar goes into the cocoon and then allows itself to be totally digested by the cells of the butterfly. And then from the cocoon, a new entity arrives, which is a butterfly. So when you practice spirituality, you cultivate those new cells. You cultivate those new identity, that new awareness. Slowly. First, it is not noticeable. But then you are transforming, you are transmuting yourself into an entirely new entity. And then after 1 year, after 2 years, you will turn back and you will see, I am a totally different man. I am a totally different woman now. I cannot recognize even myself. What have happened to me? How this transformation has happened? So just keep going with your spiritual practice. Is meditation suitable for everyone? What about the previous misdeeds which pursue me? Our eyes are in front, not in the back of the head. So you have to look forward. You have to understand that the greatest of the criminals, there was many instances in history, they have become saints, like Buddha initiated Angulimal. Angulimal was very notorious kind of robber. He could kill for nothing. He was collecting the fingers of his victims. And then when he met Buddha, he got completely transformed. He became saint. My spiritual teacher, he initiated a very notorious robber. His name was Kalicharan. So that Kalicharan was robbing people and killing people. And after meeting with the true saint, he became transformed. He achieved spiritual realization after initiation. The Guru has given him the taste of that divinity. He immediately left all his old ways and he started to transform himself and he started to serve humanity. So if this kind of personalities can become saints, then what to speak about us? It's we will always be able to transform ourselves. Okay, so I answered the questions. Now I will read your questions. Namaskar. Good morning. I just woke up 5 a.m. here. Did 10 minutes of meditation. Dada, one question. The more I do, the better, right? I think the more balance is there in life, the better. You have to allocate time for meditation. You have to allocate time for physical exercise. You have to allocate time for your work, for your food, for your family, for your children. So once you create that type of balance and you strictly follow that balance, you make a routine in your life and you follow that routine, the result of that following of the routine becomes bliss. You will feel that your life is blissful, that I am enjoying every single breath. I am enjoying every single moment, every single second of my life. This is what a balanced way of life does. How to heal our mind? You can heal your mind with love. If you cultivate the love for others, for the people who are around you, without expectation, love is something which has no expectation. Love is the bliss which is overflowing. You want to give, you don't want to take. So when you do the actions of kindness, when you serve others, when you help others, your mind is automatically starts healing. When you love yourself, your mind starts healing. When you love God, when you love divine, your mind starts healing. So it's very simple. Just feel that all people around you have an opportunity to love them. And that's how you heal. My friend is calling me on Vipassana. There are some strict rules, but one of them stands out. It says that you shouldn't combine Vipassana meditation with other techniques of meditation. Yeah, I respect Vipassana. I think it is a good movement. It is a good technique. But I believe that once you practice your sadhana, you should be very strong and very strict with it. You have to practice twice a day and not compromise with that. Doesn't matter. I wouldn't compromise. So this is my advice. So I just want to clarify, is it possible for 10 days to do so? Yeah, I know I should do Ananda Marga meditation twice a day, but maybe are there any flexible options? No narrow minds. Well, I mean, it is your decision ultimately, but my belief, I would never compromise doing my sadhana twice a day, because there is this special flow you create, and that flow maintains you. Once you break that flow, you never know how you're going to restart that flow or not. Where can I find energy to get off the ground and get attracted to the divine? I feel so weak and barely able to do sadhana. And every time I feel progress, everything collapses. No. You are doing progress. Nothing collapses. You are going forward. It's just sometimes when we get a little bit more concentrated in sadhana, it triggers the process of purification. And in that process of purification, you burn a lot of samskara. And this samskara burning, it seems like you are setting back. But actually, it is the progress. It is the progress that you want to achieve. The samskara, the old karmas, they burn. Your mind and body gets purified. You become lighter and lighter. So this process of samskara burning is also very important. So don't think it is collapse. It is not collapse. It is just a state of purification. Do you think God punish us on getting high drugs, or we punish ourselves? I don't think God punishes anyone. I think God may correct you sometimes, lovingly bring you towards the path. That he can do, but not punish. I think if we break the laws of nature, we hurt ourselves, basically. That's all we do. We hurt ourselves. No need for punishment from God. We are hurting ourselves. Our brain is so powerful, is so potent, that there are so many substances there. Why should you spoil that wonderful brain with crude substances? Cultivate the brain through meditation. Let it deliver you such high, which is higher than every high in the world. So that's my suggestion. Namaskar Dada Kalyana Sundaram. Where is the best next opportunity in the UK to develop my practices? I was just in the UK last weekend. That's why I couldn't do the stream. And I was in the UK, in Cambridge. We had wonderful session. 40 people, 45 people have come. And it was great to be with all of them. Yeah, so you have to catch me. Come here to Sweden and be with us. Soon we have a retreat. I think very, very soon. Hello, Dada Sadananda. I have a simple question. I noticed that you and others in meditation steps have long beards. Is there religious reasons for that? Yes, you can say there is a kind of dress code that we follow, monks. For every other person there is no such dress code. So, but it is good. I feel the beard is beautiful because it is a natural portion of our body. It is a natural part of our body. When we shave, to me, it looks a bit unnatural. You know, when we maintain the hair of the body, I think there is a beauty in that. There is nice. So my personal taste is also like that, to have a beard. Yeah, but for the monk it is a must. Monks have to have the beard. Yeah, for the people in society, there is a certain dress codes in the society. So society may be demanding to shave. So in that case, you shave. Like our guru, he was showing that one example. He was shaving actually, and he was basically he was showing an example how to live in the world but be spiritual. Yeah, so he will always be without a beard. Yeah. But for the monks, he had created the rule that we must have the beard. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Okay. One other question. Dada, sorry for my greed. I cannot pass the first step of meditation. I cannot visualize an image. And any advice on how to improve my visualization ability? Just keep doing it, that's all. You need to build the brain. You will, by trying, you cannot visualize, but by trying, you force the brain to grow the gray substance, the gray matter of the brain. And soon you will be able to visualize. That's all. It's just like you come to the gym. You cannot lift, a very big weight, but after pumping your muscles enough, you will be able to lift. So in the same way, you are building your brain now. It's okay. Yeah, you should be inspired. I cannot, but I will be able to do soon. Thanks, Dada. All the love for you. Same here. All the love for you too. I started using drugs at 14, and now I am 31. I feel so bad without them. What you recommend to get free? Thank you, Dada. One way, you take very cold baths, very cold shower. It will help you. Then do meditation. Then follow the vegetarian diet, because the diet, it produces different desire in us. Like, for example, if you're taking meat, there is categories of food, like meat, fish, alcohol, drugs, onion, garlic, mushrooms, all those foods, they fall into the category of tamasic food. And if you eat one, you have attraction for all those categories. Like, for example, if you are vegetarian, you're not drinking, you're not smoking, but you are taking onion, still you have some attraction to those things. But if you're not taking anything out of that category, you are not having at all any attraction to those things. Because your body transforms, your cells will change. In 21 days, the cells will change. So you will not desire anymore. Yeah, I think it will be a little bit more difficult with the drugs. But what helped me, I used to abuse alcohol. So what helped me, I fasted. One day, 32 hours, I fasted without water, without food. And then next day, I felt like, okay, I suffered so much and some purification has been achieved. Do I want to again pollute my body? No, let me stay clean for some few days. And some for more few days, and more few days, and more few. Then I forgot all about all this alcohol and things like that. So, and then basically 30 years without that and without any desire for that. So diet, fasting, meditation, of course. Meditation, when you discover the joy, the inner happiness, the inner completeness, the inner fulfillment. Why you take the drugs? Because you feel incomplete without them. Because you feel some kind of pain of normal existence. So once you heal that pain, you don't need any more drugs. So in that way, yeah, follow the path and you will be free. Thank you. Finally, I start to get it. Okay. Sorry, Dada, but I missed something. I should do twice a day, but the time of the sittings are set, like in the morning and evening, or can I do in whatever time? You can do whatever time, but do twice a day. No compromise with that. Yeah, it was great gathering last Sunday. Thanks, Dada, for coming. Thank you. So, I think we are done for today. Thank you very, very much for being here with me. And we'll see you again. I'm starting traveling, but I will do my best to have a stream also on Saturday. If not possible, I will do somewhere during the week. I will now go to Germany, participate in two retreats actually there in Germany. Then my traveling starts. Yeah, I wish I could have just 1 year with you. Like I would do YouTube every day, and we could build a great community here. And yeah. Anyway, I will try to free more of my time to have more time for you. Dad, I remember that you told that you did 3 meditation lessons for 30 minutes back then. Was it once a day or more? I did 3rd meditation lesson, yes. I did once a day, 30 minutes. Yeah. Namaskar. Have a good day. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your sadhana, spiritual practice.